Hello everybody. And I know some people might not be feeling me right now because they feel like what I said was racist. No, baby, I'm far from racist. As you can see, I'm damn near white myself. So there's nothing about being racist about me. I'm just speaking on opinion. I'm speaking how I feel. That's part of life, right? What is that? Freedom of speech? What amendment? Oh, okay. Anyways, the reason why I say the shit about the white women, black men shit is because us black women are tired of y'all white women just trying to take everything. Y'all all the models, y'all in all the commercials, y'all in all the movies, y'all in all the goddamn magazines, y'all everywhere.
Get your ass in the car. Get your ass in the car. Get your ass in the car.
She say I love him. I don't want to leave him like everybody else leave him. This man eating me up. She don't deserve that. Like she.
Love to Death channel. She called 911 herself. She gave them her name. She told them exactly what she was afraid of. She asked the man in that room with her, out loud on a recorded line, "Are you going to kill me?" Police came. They looked around. The house was quiet. The house was dark. So they left. Minutes later, a single gunshot. Aleka Simmons was 27 years old. She had a child, a cleaning business she built from nothing, and a voice that filled every room she walked into. She did everything right that night. She called, she identified herself, she warned them, and she was dead before sunrise. This is her story. And it is also the story of every moment that could have gone differently and didn't. Aleka grew up without a foundation most people take for granted. Her biological parents were not in her life. Extended family was complicated. She moved through a childhood that was unstable by design, not by accident. And she came out the other side independent in the way that people become independent when they have no other choice. She was originally from Queens, New York, but Atlanta became her home. She built her life there herself. She started a cleaning business called Immaculate Maids in 2015. She picked up other work when she needed to, housekeeping, a management role, eventually dancing at a club in Atlanta, work she was open about and unapologetic about. She didn't perform shame for anyone. She was active on social media, posted her opinions, her moods, her relationships, her joy. If she was in love, people knew. If she was angry, people knew that too. She wrote once, plainly and publicly, about what it felt like to grow up without her parents. "You can't say I'm not strong." She meant it. And she was right. But strength is not armor. And the same loyalty that made her who she was, the refusal to abandon people, the capacity to love through difficulty, that same thing put her directly in the path of Otis Walker. They met in mid-2019. The relationship moved fast, the way dangerous ones often do. Otis was 32, living with his mother in Lithonia, Georgia. He had a history of arrests, including prior violence. Aleka knew some of that. She stayed anyway. She posted about him in June 2019, not even a month in. She wrote that he accepted her for the bad, the ugly, and the good. That he picked her up when she'd fallen. That things weren't perfect, but he dealt with her issues as his own. That's the version of the relationship she wanted to believe in, the version that made the risk feel worth it. It didn't hold. By early July, the arguments had turned physical, and not privately. On July 11th, 2019, officers in DeKalb County witnessed Otis Walker being physically aggressive with Aleka. They arrested him on the spot, battery charge, taken into custody right in front of her. 2 days later, Aleka posted a photo of him as her screensaver. 2 days after that, she bailed him out. Her cousin commented on the post, said Otis needed that lesson, that he'd come back better. Aleka replied that she hoped so, that she wasn't the type to give up on someone she loved. She had been the one left behind too many times to become someone who left. That's not weakness. That's a specific kind of pain that people who haven't lived it don't always understand. Her best friend understood it. Ashley Hill had been telling Aleka to go. She'd said it more than once. Aleka's response every time was the same. She loved him. She didn't want to leave him like everybody else had left him. That line would be repeated at sentencing, years later, by people who loved her and couldn't save her. Otis didn't come back better. He came back angrier. He had a court date approaching, the criminal case from the battery arrest still hanging over him. The pressure was building, and Aleka, trying to move forward, had started posting about meeting other people, about taking applications, about older men. Whether she was serious or venting or just existing loudly online, the way she always had, those posts were out there. For a man already wound tight with jealousy and resentment, they were accelerant. By late July, the situation had its own momentum. Everyone around Aleka could feel it. Her friends could feel it. Her posts were telling two different stories at the same time, one about love, one about needing out. The push and pull of someone caught between what she felt and what she knew. On July 31st, 2019, Aleka posted on SA's Facebook, "Thankful for life, no matter how hard life may seem." She was inside Otis's bedroom at his mother's house in Lithonia when night fell. By midnight, she was on the phone to Death Channel. The first call came in just after midnight. Aleka identified herself immediately. "This is Aleka Simmons. If anything happens to me." Then the line went quiet. Not dead, quiet. The dispatcher could still hear what was happening on the other end. An argument, voices. Then Aleka's voice again, directed at someone in that room with her. "Are you threatening me?" A pause. "Are you going to kill me?" That question, asked out loud, on a recorded line to the man standing in front of her, is the clearest possible signal a person can send. She was not being dramatic. She was not overreacting. She was telling anyone who would listen exactly what she believed was about to happen. Officers from the DeKalb County Police Department were dispatched immediately to the house on Hodgdon Corners Cove in Lithonia. They arrived, they looked. Dark house, no screaming, no visible disturbance, nothing that gave them legal ground to force their way in. So they left. Inside that house, Otis's mother, Sharon Walker, had been asleep when a family member knocked on her door and told her police were outside. Sharon got up. She went to check on Otis and Aleka. She walked into that bedroom and felt it immediately. The tension was thick. Whatever had been happening before the officers arrived was still alive in that room. Aleka told Sharon she wanted to go home. Sharon said she'd drive her. She went to get her keys. That was the moment. A way out, a ride. Someone willing to help her leave. For just a few seconds, this night had a different ending. Then Otis told his mother that Aleka was planning to talk to the police, and he closed the bedroom door. One shot. Sharon ran back. Aleka was on the floor, shot in the chest, inside the bedroom where she had just asked someone to take her home. Sharon grabbed two minors in the house and ran, straight to a neighbor's house. Called 911. Officer Derek Nunn, the same officer who had been at that house less than an hour earlier, was called back. This time, he brought two other officers with him. They didn't make it to the front door. As they crossed the front yard, Otis Walker opened fire. 19 rounds. Officer Nunn was hit 4 times. The other officers had no choice but to pull back. SWAT was called in. The scene was still hot. A neighbor named Kerr Fielder woke up to the sound of rapid gunfire and found a bullet had gone through her second-floor bedroom window while she and her husband were sleeping. When SWAT finally secured the house and got to the bedroom upstairs, Aleka was gone. And Otis Walker was not in that house. Somewhere in the chaos, 19 rounds fired, officers retreating, SWAT mobilizing, he had slipped out and disappeared into the woods behind the property. What followed was one of the largest manhunts DeKalb County had seen in years. The DeKalb County Police Department, the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office, the Fugitive Task Force, and the U.S. Marshals all came together. They focused heavily around the wooded area near Martin Luther King High School, close to where Otis had last been seen. Helicopters, armed officers with rifles combing the neighborhood, a community told to stay vigilant and lock their doors. A $10,000 reward was posted for information leading to his arrest. people who knew Otis were interviewed. A neighbor named Tammy Gresham said the shooting sounded out of character, that he was a hardworking man who cared about his daughter. His best friend, who asked not to be identified, said he'd texted Otis during the manhunt. Otis had responded at first, then stopped. The friend sent one more message telling him he loved him. Meanwhile, Officer Derek Nunn was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital. He underwent emergency surgery. He survived. For 8 days, Otis Walker was nowhere. Then, on August 8, 2019, someone made a call. Investigators tracked Otis to a Chevron gas station at the corner of Palola and Browns Mill Roads in Lithonia, not far from the crime scene at all. He had been close this entire time. When officers approached him around 11 p.m., he was unarmed. He did not run. He did not fight. He was taken into custody without incident. After 8 days of helicopters, task forces, and a county on edge, a gas station. When they searched him, they found a handwritten letter. It was addressed to Officer Derek Nunn and the DeKalb County Police Department. In it, Otis apologized for what happened to the officer. He claimed he hadn't meant to hurt anyone. He claimed that when he fired those 19 rounds, he was trying to get the police to shoot him. Suicide by cop, he said. He wrote nothing about Aleka, not one word for the woman he had just killed. The letter of apology went to the officer. Aleka's family received silence. Aleka was laid to rest on August 10, 2019, at New Birth Fellowship of Praise in Griffin, Georgia. She was 27 years old. She had celebrated her birthday 3 weeks before she died. Love to Death Channel. The case went to trial in September 2023. 4 years had passed. Aleka's child had grown up without her. Officer Derek Nunn had carried the physical and emotional weight of that night through every one of those years. And Otis Walker had sat in a DeKalb County jail cell, waiting for a jury to decide what the rest of his life would look like. In court, he had a story ready. He claimed he shot Aleka in self-defense. He claimed the 19 rounds he fired at responding officers were not meant to kill, that he was shooting toward the ground, trying to force them to shoot him. Suicide by cop. A man so overcome with remorse, the argument went that he was trying to end his own life in the chaos. The evidence had other ideas. Officer Derek Nunn was struck 4 times. Not from ricochets, not from stray rounds hitting the dirt and traveling upward. 4 direct hits on a man who had shown up to help. A bullet had traveled through a neighbor's second-floor bedroom window while 2 people slept inside. And Aleka had been shot at close range in a bedroom with a closed door by a man who had just told his own mother that he didn't want Aleka speaking to police. The self-defense claim required the jury to ignore all of that. They were not inclined to do so. Sharon Walker, Otis's mother, took the stand and testified against her own son. She described the tension in that bedroom. She described offering Aleka a ride. She described what Otis said before he closed that door. A mother, under oath, telling the truth about what her son did. That is not a small thing, and it did not go unnoticed. The prosecution also played the 911 recording. Aleka's voice, her name, her fear. "Are you going to kill me?" In a courtroom, 4 years later, those words landed exactly as hard as they deserved to. On September 27, 2023, the jury returned their verdict, guilty, on all counts: malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault on Aleka. 3 counts of aggravated assault on law enforcement officers. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Every count, no gaps, no partial wins for the defense. Sentencing came in November 2023 before Judge Yolanda Parker Smith. Aleka's family spoke first. They talked about the empty chair at every gathering since August 2019. The holidays that would never feel complete. Her children growing up without their mother's laugh, without her presence, without the particular way she loved them. Her friends talked about who she was, not just what happened to her, her humor, her honesty, the way she owned every room and every choice she ever made. Officer Derek Nunn was there too. 4 years of recovery. a body and a mind that still carried the evidence of that night. Then Judge Parker Smith sentenced Otis Dennis Walker to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 65 years. He will die in prison. That was the point. That was the message. Aleka's brother, Aleka Simmons, said something during the sentencing that stayed with people in that courtroom. He said that if police had stayed the first time they responded that night, this could have been prevented. He's not wrong. And that truth doesn't have a clean resolution. The system that night moved the way systems sometimes do, by protocol, by what could be seen from the outside, by what could be legally justified. Officers arrived. They saw a dark, quiet house. They had no visible cause to enter. They left. And in the space between their departure and their return, Aleka was killed. That is not an excuse. It is a problem that outlives this case. Domestic violence hides. It hides behind closed doors and lowered voices and victims who have learned, through experience, through survival, through love, to say that everything is fine when it is not. The danger is most acute when someone is trying to leave or when an abuser believes they might. Otis knew Aleka might talk. That was enough. What Aleka did that night was not passive. She called. She said her name. She documented her own fear on a government line in real time. She did everything the system asks victims to do, and she still died. She posted on Facebook the morning she was killed, thankful for life, no matter how hard life may seem. That was Aleka Simmons, someone who had been left too many times and still chose gratitude, who had built a life out of nothing and was still building it, who loved with a loyalty that the people around her could see was going to cost her, and who couldn't stop because walking away felt like becoming the thing she feared most. She was not a cautionary tale, she was a person, complicated and funny and loud and honest and trying. Otis Walker took all of that, and then he wrote a letter to the cop. He will spend the rest of his life in a cell, which is exactly where he belongs. That is the only part of this story that ended the way it should have. The rest of it, Aleka's son growing up without her, her friends learning to tell this story without breaking, her brother sitting in a courtroom asking why no one stayed, that part doesn't get a neat ending, it just gets remembered. Rest, Aleka. Love to Death Channel. Call to action and fair use notice. Fair use notice. This video is for educational and commentary purposes only. All footage and images used fall under fair use guidelines as protected under Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act. If this story stayed with you, it should. If you want more cases like this one, subscribe to Love to Death Channel. We cover true crime rooted in relationships, domestic violence, obsession, betrayal, and the moments that change everything. New episodes go up regularly, and every case is one that deserves to be heard. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And if this video moved you, share it. The more people who know Aleka's story, the more people who might recognize the warning signs before it's too late. We'll see you on the next one, Love to Death Channel, because every victim deserves to be more than a headline.
You guys mentioned that the officer was released from the hospital. Can you give us any update on how he's doing?
Yes, Officer Nunn I spoke with him again this morning, and he's resting comfortable. He's healing, he's doing well, his family's doing well, and we just want to ask that you keep him in your prayers.
On behalf of Sheriff Jeffrey Mann, we are honored to stand here with our partners who we collaborate our efforts together all the time on making joint arrests. We also send our condolences to the families, because this definitely was a tragedy. If there are any victims of domestic violence out there, we ask that you reach out to law enforcement, contact other family members, and more importantly, reach out to your court systems, not only in DeKalb, but in the state of Georgia. In DeKalb County, we're fortunate to have a women's resource center. More specifically, we'd like to also thank our partners, the DeKalb Police Department, as well as the U.S. Marshals, who were instrumental in assisting us with the capture of this suspect. This young man was taken into custody last night after our fugitive investigators did a great job surveilling him, finding him, and locating him in the wee hours in the morning. They spent countless man hours in hunting this suspect down.
Good evening, everyone. Sergeant Irwin. I'm with the Special Victims Unit, Domestic Violence. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the domestic violence. The domestic abuse is a pattern of hurtful behavior used by one partner to systematically control and overpower the other. Domestic abuse often escalates from threats and verbal abuse to physical and sexual violence, and then even murder. No one deserves this kind of pain, and your first step to breaking free is recognizing that your situation is abusive. Once you acknowledge the reality of the abusive situation, then you can get the help you need. Here in DeKalb, we use several resources. I listed a few of them, as he stated: the Women's Resource Center, the Family Advocacy, Rockshaw, International Women's House, Center for Pan-Asian Community Services, Tapestry. They also have a program for men. Camaria Latino, and the Jewish Family and Career Services. We use all these services to assist our victims. In DeKalb County, we want to hold the offender accountable and render aid to our victims. We work hard to do this, countless hours to make our streets safe. Thank you.